Hello again. Two extremely odd items appeared in the news this morning. Both would have been unheard of a few years ago. These days, of course, they are par for the course and scarcely arouse a flicker of interest. Like every other citizen, I have a personal stake in the first of these pieces of news, for it is my money that is being spent on this foolishness. The London North Eastern Railway is owned by the Department of Transport, that is to say by you and me. We subsidise it through our taxes. So it is that we are entitled to ask what they are spending their money on. I say their money, but of course it's really our money. The LNER painted one of their locomotives with a ghastly rainbow decoration, which incorporated the word together. What this was meant to signify is anybody's guess. This piece of artwork cost £58,000. That is £58,000 of our money. I wonder if anybody can think of a better way for a railway to spend that kind of sum. At risk of appearing to be a dangerous radical, I cannot help but think that ensuring that trains arrive and leave on time might perhaps be a higher priority than doing up an engine so that it looks like a piece of playground equipment in a nursery. But hey, what do I know? I'm a pretty old-fashioned sort of guy, really. When a Freedom of Information request was submitted about this, the person making the application was dismissed by the railway as being transphobic. Their first instinct when a taxpayer inquired how much of her money was being spent on this was, of course, to start checking out her name on Google, looking up for social media posts. Extraordinary. That was instead of simply supplying the information to which she was entitled by law. The second example of the way that this country is going is provided by a recent murder trial. A young woman called Bronwyn Jones cut her mother's throat with a pruning knife, which she evidently purchased for that very purpose. After being arrested, she announced that she had turned into a man and wanted everybody to refer to her as he rather than she. As a result of this, when the trial opened, the prosecuting counsel apologised in advance just in case she inadvertently referred to this woman as she. Counsel said, "I hope that you will be forgiving of any lapse I make unintentionally as I'm going through this case. This is not intended to cause any distress." In other words, the barristers in that court were worried that the woman in the dock who cut her mother's throat might be distressed to be called she rather than he. The distress of those who had to deal with seeing a middle-aged woman's throat cut is apparently not in the same league as the distress felt by a woman described as she. We have seen this sex change caper being pulled by men, of course, hoping to be sent to a women's prison, but this is the first time that I've heard of it being tried on by a woman who wants to be locked up in a men's prison. We shall see next month whether she is granted her wish. In the description to this video, I give links to these news items as usual. The BBC report, needless to say, refers to Bronwyn Jones as he throughout, and you would never guess by reading the report, to which I give a link, that they are talking about a woman. DEI might have reached its peak and beyond the decline in America, especially with Trump about to take over in a few weeks, but in this country at least, it is for now going full steam ahead.